What's going on, everybody? It's Sunday, so you know what that means. It is the FILA Sports Podcast. That is the Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. I'm on a special Father's Day Sunday. Shout out to all the fathers out there today. It's your boy, Coach Mario, and my co-host, Adon. What's going on, Adon?
What's good, y'all? Happy Father's Day to everybody, to all the fathers out there, active fathers, and I guess fathers who ain't taking care of their responsibility. At the end of the day, if you brought a child in this world, hey, that's your responsibility. You're supposed to take care of it. But anyway, glad y'all can join us this evening. If you're joining us live, if you have any questions in the live chat, please hit us up and we'll read them throughout the show. If you're watching this show at a later date, please feel free to comments and hit your comment in the comment section, and we'll get back with you normally within like a 12-hour span. And share this video with your friends who are Falcons fans or any other fan of Atlanta sports. Also, hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us. We really appreciate that. As always, come holla.
Come on.
It's your hometown sports podcast. All right, we have a special guest with us today, Aaron Freeman. He's going to introduce himself, and he's also going to plug his information. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey guys, Aaron Freeman hosting the Locked On Falcons podcast. You can also check out Falcon Central Radio right here on YouTube as well. Appreciate you guys having me on the show talking about Falcons.
That's what's up.
Glad you could be on, man.
All right, and we know it's Sunday is Father's Day. We know some of y'all have some special Father's Day gifts to get to. So we're gonna have a brief show tonight, and we're gonna, as always, run through our week in Atlanta sports. And I'm sorry, Don, as always, let them know where they can find us at, Don.
All right, y'all. We are on Spotify. The link is in the description and on Google Podcasts. I know a lot of people have been asking us about why we're not on Apple or iTunes. It's in the works, you guys. It's in the works. It's a process. Trust me, it's in the works. For our SoundCloud goes, I'm not really SoundCloud savvy, so just bear with us. Bear with us on that. We'll try to get our episodes on there as well. Also, as far as our social media goes, you can find us on Twitter at FILA_SP. You can also find us on Twitter, not Twitter, on YouTube, Facebook. We're on Facebook, you guys, at FILA Sports Podcast. Just type it in the search box. You'll see our logo. You hit that like button. You also hit that follow button. And we also have a Facebook group, Forever I Love Atlanta Sport, Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast, hometown team. Feel free to join the group. We also have different chats for each team, like the Braves, the Falcons, the Hawks, the Yellow Jackets, the Bulldogs, the United. If you have a question throughout the week, 24 hours a day, hit us up. We'll respond. We have a lot of people in there, especially in the Falcons and Braves and Hawks groups, that pretty much go at it every day, giving us suggestions of what the Falcons going to do or what the Braves doing. It's very interactive. Please come join us in that as well. And we also on Instagram as well.
All right, in Atlanta sports, and we'll start with the Atlanta Dream. We dropped one to Dallas yesterday, 71-61. I don't know what to say about the Dream. We're not having the season that we thought we'd have. We'll just leave it there.
Man, I don't know when we go win again, man. Like I really don't know. I really don't know, man. I was like real happy. I was going to the beginning of the season, man. Like, okay, this might be the dream year to win the championship. I might have to go buy some tickets and stuff. I'm still going to a game this year. Don't get it twisted. But right now, it's just like my enthusiasm for the team has just died down a little bit. Like, I don't know. We're going to try to get somebody. I know Devontae, he covered them for Sports Talk ATL. Shout out to Devontae Hughes on Twitter. But we're gonna get somebody sometime in the next few weeks to talk about what's going on with the dream because that's a good topic I want to know about.
Hey Don, nightmare. The dream is more of a nightmare.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
like
that's
that
right.
one. All right, what's up with the Braves this week, Don?
All right, well the Braves they had a great week. We pretty much swept Pittsburgh. Monday we had a game and we played them and we won the game 13-7. Tuesday it was 7-5, and Wednesday we beat them 8-7. All right, so we swept that series. We was off Thursday. We had a break. Friday, Friday was a wild game. We was losing in the bottom of the ninth inning, and there were two runners on. Huh?
We scored what? 3 runs, 4 runs.
I think it was 3 or 4 runs, and then Ken he came up to the plate. He hit a two RBI. Yeah, 2 RBI and won the game. 9-8, and also in that process, as the go ahead run, he hit his 1,000th RBI of his career. All right, and then yesterday we thought we had the magic to come back and beat Philadelphia, but um, our pitcher that night he got stripped with the ball, and
Luke Jackson. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, not Luke Jackson.
yeah, he got struck with the ball, and we had to pretty much rely on the bullpen for the rest of the night, and we already knew we got to rely on the bullpen to win the game. Chances are we're not going to come out with the victory. So we lost that game 6-5. Today, oh man, I think yesterday game pissed off a lot of our players. Came out, everybody was hitting 15-1. That was like I guess y'all remember the old Mortal Kombat game back in the 90s?
Man, that was like
victory.
Man, that was like a T League game from Gresham Park.
Man, that was like, yeah, we murdered the Phillies today, 15-1, and we won the series as well. So that's we're in first place in the NL East, and we're going to continue to have the lead. Yeah, 3.5 today.
3.5.
Yep, 3.5 today. Yep, sure is. So that's pretty much everything that happened in Braves count. So.
In Hawks news, we have a couple of guys in that we know that the Hawks will be working out this week. UGA player Nicholas Claxton, center, will be in. Sekou Doumbia, I don't know why y'all have me pronouncing that.
These names are something else, man.
I can't even pronounce where he's from, so definitely can't pronounce his name. But he's a power forward. I understand he's a defensive rebounder guy. Art Holman, power forward from Mississippi State. Nasir Lodo, small forward from UNC. Do know a little about him. He's a shooter. Jordan Poole, a shooting guard from Michigan. Another guy who's a shooter. So those guys, they can shoot with the Michigan.
Yes.
Those are the guys who the Hawks that would know they're having in for pre-draft workouts this week. What's going on with Atlanta United, Don?
All right. Well, it was the U.S. Open this past week, and they're going to continue to do it for the next few weeks. We beat Charleston Battery 3-1. So I think we played this week coming up. I think we play Columbus, I believe. So.
I'm sorry. Circle back, real guy, on the NBA, real guy. Real quick, this guy's NBA. The draft is coming up this Thursday. We have a lot going on with draft. We'll fill you guys in on that later.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and say this real quick. Either Tuesday or Wednesday, we're gonna have Devontae on, and I'm also try to reach out to the neighbors, Kobe, whatever his name is on Twitter. Bring them on, like have a panel. We could talk about the NBA draft, who the Hawks gonna potentially draft. Are they gonna move down or whatever the case may be? But we're gonna try to do a show either Tuesday or Wednesday this week. We're gonna try to have the information sometime by tomorrow morning on that. As far as the draft cast go, Thursday night, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that. Some personal issues have came up so far, and then we got a lot of stuff going on in our lives, and it's the summertime. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I got something going on, and I'm traveling Thursday as well.
but we'll follow along on social media as far as the draft goes, and then Sunday. If we don't do a live show Thursday of the draft, we'll do it Sunday and Monday. So we got you guys. We're gonna cover it. We're gonna cover it.
Thursday night, I will be in a hotel bar watching the draft somewhere. I'm not gonna say where. Don't worry where I'm gonna be at. College news this week. UGA. UGA. Joshua Braun, four-star O tackle from Live Oak, Florida, committed to UGA. Sam Pittman does it again. It seems like UGA is just signing every O lineman in the world. I don't know what's going on, but Jesus, it seems like we're signing every four and five-star O lineman in the world. Georgia Tech this week. A lot of you guys were saying, "Hey, you don't never supported on Tech." I'm sorry, Tech didn't have any guys commit. But this week they did have their 14th and 15th guy commit. A local guy, Carl Kennard from Riverwood High School, a three-star kid. I've actually seen him play. Actually, pretty explosive guy, quick off the edge. He's defensive end, committed to Georgia Tech, and also safety Nick Turner from New Orleans becomes the 15th commit, and he's from Brother Martin High School. I don't know much about him, but I do know the school, Brother Martin. They produce quite a bit of Power Five prospects down there in New Orleans, and that's pretty much it from the college world this week. Don, what's going on with the Falcons as we segue into our main topic for tonight?
All right. So everybody know that mini camp started this week. Um, yeah, we had some smoke with hard boots early on this week. I'm like, I don't know if you heard about this, Aaron, but Carl Dukes apparently he got upset because people caught. Well, I called them out about him complaining about Vic Beasley.
You gotta tell us who Carl Dukes is, Don.
Carl Dukes, he's
I know Carl Dukes. I know what you're talking
yeah.
about.
Now, I know you know Aaron. You gotta tell our listeners who Carl Dukes is.
Carl Dukes, he's a radio host for 92.9 The Game, Dukes and Bell, from I guess 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the afternoon.
2 to 6, I think. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, whatever time. I don't listen to them at all. They just spit negative, and I just told them, why we got to be so negative all the time. Like you wonder why our fan base is so toxic right now because of guys like you, you know. And he took it to heart, and I called him out, and he still haven't challenged me. So he got another week. I told him he got a week and a half, and we did a show was it Wednesday, I believe. So half of a week already went by. So you got another week, Carl, until I pretty much expose you. Okay. Anyway, everyone was there except for Desmond Trufant. Desmond Trufant, I guess his wife or baby mama, whoever she is, had a baby. So shout out to Desmond Trufant. Happy Father's Day to you. I don't know if a man's married or not.
You true. I don't think he's married yet, so I don't know their relationship. It was just interesting the way you put it. But yeah, congratulations, D True.
All right. Yeah, congratulations on the new baby, True. And Julio and Devo, they sat out of mini camp because they recovered from injuries. So they was there, and they was involved. That's good. So other news this week, and I forgot to mention this a few days ago on our last show. It was just pretty much a temporary show anyway, so we didn't really go over any notes. It was impromptu. But Roddy White, he will be inducted into the Falcons Ring of Honor on December 8th. That's going to be the game versus the Carolina Panthers. He's going to be the 11th member for the Atlanta Falcons to join the Ring of Honor. This is well deserving of him. I know a lot of people. I didn't see any negative comments on Roddy being into the Atlanta Falcons Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's well deserving. He should have been in there a couple of years ago, but I don't know the process of how many years you got to be retired until. But I did see a couple of people, minorities, saying, "Oh, why Vic ain't in? How he get in before Vic?"
I'm sorry. I got to go off script real quick because it just popped in my head. I got to go off script real quick. Is Ryder the second best receiver to ever play for the Falcons?
Second best.
Oh well, okay. I'm gonna go all the way real. I'm just gonna be real with it. Is Ryder better than Terrence Mathis? Who's better, Ryder or Terrence Mathis? Who's number two?
Roddy's better. Roddy's better.
Ryder.
Yeah.
And you would go T Matt 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Just interested. Just popped in my head. What do you say, Don? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, no, honestly, if I hate to cut you off, but
No.
I might put Andre Rison 3. But
I was gonna say Ryzen 3.
Andre Rison over T Matt.
Yeah.
Mathis did it longer, but I think Rison.
Don't do my boy T Matt like that.
Ryzen was good, man.
T Matt, I'm not hating on Rison over T Matt.
And I'll put, to be honest with you, I'll put Billy White shoes fourth.
Okay, I'm a classic insomniac, so tonight that's what I'll be looking at. Andre Rison versus T Matt stats. Y'all gave me something to look at when I'm up in the middle of the night.
Oh, Pat, hey, shout out to Pat, man. He in the chat right now. Pat, he gonna try to pull him up.
Yeah,
Pat gonna have stats for like 3 minutes.
Jump on there for me, Pat. I know you my dog. Who you got, Pat? T Matt or Andre Rison? Give me some stats.
But yeah, I think Roddy White, man, without a doubt, he's gonna be like the second best Falcons receiver. We already know who's gonna be number one. So there's no debate on that.
Even Roddy acknowledges that. Even Roddy acknowledges that. So there's no smoke there.
Yes. So congratulations to Roddy White. Now I'm kind of on the spectrum of should I just go to the Thanksgiving game against the Saints, or should I just go to the December 8th game and see my boy Roddy White get it done? I don't know. I can't go to 2 games because I stay far away, and I ain't got it like that to just be spending $200 for a ticket because you already know the ticket's gonna be a good $150. So
easy.
Yeah.
All right. So also news came out this week. Contract negotiations for Julio and Grady are still in place, so they still in talks of trying to get them extended. No word yet. Who y'all think they're gonna end up extending first?
I think Julio is going to get his contract first. I think that July 15th deadline for Grady Jarrett, like he's got to sign, or he has to play out this year on the franchise tag. Like I think it's going to go right up to the deadline with Grady Jarrett, just because. I mean, we've been waiting. They've been talking to him for like over a year now, and it hasn't gotten done yet. So it's probably going to get done right at the deadline. But for me, at least, I think it's going to get done. Like when Arthur Blank came out the other day and basically was like, these guys are going to be both Falcons for life, and we're going to get this deal done. Like, Blank's been the owner for like 17, almost 18 years. Like, has he ever lied about saying we're going to get a deal done and the deal hasn't gotten done?
I tell people this all the time about Arthur Blank, Uncle Arthur. This man worked for the mafia, man. If he say he gonna do something, man, he gonna do it. We don't know, like I tell people, we don't know what's going on at Flower Branch. We don't know what's going on at Arthur Blank's mansion. Because I'm pretty sure he got a basement and he just asked the players or coaches and stuff to come down there and like, he might got some henchmen down there or holding armies or whatever the case may be. They'll get a deal done.
Since he's been here, I know that Mike Vick has come out and say he trusts him. Work Dunn has come out and say he's trusted him before. Roddy has come out and say he's trusted him before. Julio has come out and say he trusted him before. So at one time, John Abraham has said he's not. So all the guys vouch for him, and you never heard anybody say a bad thing about him. Hey, AB, and we know AB will cut the check. He will cut the check. AB,
no one has never really said anything bad. Now, we never had a player that say anything ill will about Arthur Blank of the Falcons organization, because they know we're gonna take care of him. If you produce on the field, we're gonna try. We're gonna work something with you. Only one person said something about us, and I forgot his name. He was a D tackle for us, I guess in 2015, and he didn't want to resign, so he went to Carolina because he said, or he want to go play in the Super Bowl. He want to go play in the playoff team. I forgot his name. Soliai, yeah. That's the only person that said something bad about the Falcons. Other than that, I don't even know. I forgot the man Soliai. Yeah, I remember Soliai. I forgot his name. Paul Soliai. Yeah, Paul Soliai. Yeah. The joke.
Forgot all about that, man. forgot all about that. Boy, you got a memory on you. Forgot all about that.
I remember things, but sometimes names kind of. I'm not good with names at all.
You remember someone disrespected the Falcons, but you couldn't remember who it was.
Yeah. So, Aaron, it's been much talk, and we've discussed it for this past several weeks, and you see people coming out right now, discussion of us possibly going to a 3-4 defense. How do you feel about that? Do you think we're reading too much into that, or do you look at the personnel and the moves that we're making, and do you think that we're going to use some 3-4 looks this year as well?
I think they will use some 3-4 looks. I think, in talks of moving to a 3-4, I think that can be a little overrated at this time because, like, basically everybody plays nickel, 65, 70% of the time. And basically the only difference between a 3-4 and a 4-3 when you're in nickel is, do the outside guys stand up or do they put their hand in the dirt? And that's really the only difference. So it's really just about, like, what do you do in base? And with the Falcons 4-3 defense, it's kind of basically like a 3-4. Like, you could go look at other teams that play 3-4 right now, and there's not a whole lot of difference in where guys line up and how they're used. So I don't know if it's that big a deal in that sense, but I do think one of the things that we could see the Falcons do is play these bear fronts, and they sort of tinkered with it last year. And basically, for those people that don't know, a bear front is basically a 3-4, but instead of the DN, the nose tackle, and the other DN sort of lining up. Usually what that will happen is they'll line up, the DNs will line up over the tackles, and the nose tackle will line up over the center. And in the bear front, the DNs will line up over the guards, and the nose tackle will line up over the center. And it's basically a way to try to beef up your run defense. And one of the things that the Falcons obviously have not been a great run defense in the Dan Quinn era. So I think that's one thing that the Falcons might, tinker with to try to get better up front because, like, they did add some players there, like Tyler Davison and whatnot, but, like, they didn't really necessarily get all the help that they may have wanted to get on the D-line in terms of beefing up their run defense. So I think they'll sort of scheme some ways to try to get a little stronger there as opposed to just relying on the personnel. So I think if the Falcons do sort of move more towards a 3-4, you might see a lot more of those bear fronts where it looks like the defensive linemen are all sort of tied up against the interior of the offensive line. And so that would make them a little bit stronger in the middle of that D-line where they can be a little bit beefier against the run.
All right, here's my take. All right, this offseason, you can look at the chart. I don't know, a lot of people don't. Depth chart, it can be telltale sometimes, and sometimes it all depends because you can have D tackles that can play D end and vice versa. You got D ends that play D tackles. But if you look at it right now, we brought in, we have a lot of D tackles, but we don't have that many D ends. All right. And we have, if you can, and also because you do a lot of drafting profiles, right? Like several years ago, right?
Yeah.
All right. Tat McKinley and Vic Beasley, if you look at their draft profiles, Vic Beasley was drafted in 15 and Tat was drafted in 17. If you look at their draft profile, it says that they play outside linebacker in their respective colleges. So they have the experience in playing in the 34 defense. So I'm thinking, and then you gotta look at pretty much put two and two together. All right, we brought in Bob Sutton. He's just a consultant. He just pretty much he's not running the defense. Dan Quinn's running the defense. But all these signs, and even we trying to sign Alan Bailey, he hasn't been signed to a team yet, but I'm kind of sure we might get something. Huh?
He's a 3-4 guy.
He's a 3-4 guy from Kansas City. Bob Sutton, he just came from Kansas City, 3-4. So, and I really think a lot of people saying that about Alan Bailey or why he didn't sign this week or whatever. I think he didn't want to sign because he just wanted to miss out on minicamp. All right. So I'm thinking we may hear something either this week or next week on Alan Bailey. That's just my prediction. But I really think that I'm not going against anybody what anybody's saying, but I really think a 34 defense is pretty much ideal of what we're going to end up doing in 2019.
That's fair.
All right. What about you, Coach?
Like I say, I agree. I think we're setting up to be multiple, and I think it suits our personnel. And this is kind of, I know I'm jumping around, but it kind of segues into the question you guys see I added into the questionnaire. Uh, One of these D linemen isn't making the team.
All
Somebody
right.
who we think is making the team isn't making the team.
But here's the thing too, and I want everybody to think about this too. Tack and Vic. All right. Both of them, like Dan Quinn asked Tack to lose some weight. Okay. Vic B's added on a little weight, but he ain't added on enough. Like, if you really think about it, Tack and Vic, they are DNs, but if you look at the average size of DNs in the NFL, they're really small. So if you have them play 4-3, they're gonna their win percentage against tackles, they're not gonna win that much against Lane Johnsons and Armsteads and all these other offensive tackles who are pretty much over like almost 300 pounds or over 300 pounds. That's why we've seen a lot of Vic Beasley, because the only thing Vic Beasley can beat you with is speed. But we saw in 2018, he wasn't that good. And then also, you can't just blame that all on Vic Beasley. You got to blame that on the coach, Marco Emmanuel, as well, because he didn't scheme Vic Beasley the right way. All right. So, but if you were, if you think about it, if you put those guys in a 3-4, not putting their hands in the dirt, hey, they have a better win percentage again to the quarterback. That's just my take.
And like on the D ends, we know, like I said, Tech and Beasley and Claiborne are making the team. Comiskey is obviously making the team. But there's a D tackle somewhere in here that is not going to make this football team because we're counting up numbers. Am I the only one who's thinking that way? One of the guys that we thinking this way? I'm saying Rashid, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Rashid didn't make this team. And I said this on Twitter. I said this on Twitter, and I got blasted. But what do you think, Aaron? I mean, I'm just looking at numbers. Obviously, we know people. Somebody's not making it. Who we know.
I mean,
am I unpopular in this thinking?
No, I mean, like, it makes sense. It's going to be tough with Rashid because he's got that suspension, so he's going to miss the first 2 games of the season. So we may get to a point if all these other guys step up, and the Falcons like, why are we going to keep a guy who's not going to play for us for the first 2 games? They could wind up cutting him. But at the same time, being able to have him sort of in your back pocket if you need to, because we know injuries do happen.
Exactly.
And having that guy come in week 3, and we saw last year that we needed some guys to come in week 3, given how the injuries happen. So it's one of those things where it could go either way. It depends on where sort of I think Hageman is this summer. If he picks up where he left off, last time he was with the Falcons during that Super Bowl run, like I think he's going to make the team. But if he looks rusty, he looks slow, and he looks more like the Hageman that we saw early in his career, who was really having trouble getting on the field, then I could see him getting cut there. But he's the one guy I think is really on the bubble at this point. And if the Falcons do wind up adding a guy like Alan Bailey later on, or somebody else later in training camp, because I do think they need to go out and get another edge rusher to be a backup to Jack or Vic in the event whether they play 3-4 or 4-3. They still need some depth there. I think you could see Hageman. He's probably the one guy I think is on the bubble. But I think if he does sort of step up and look like the player he was at the last time we saw him in the Falcons uniform, I do think he should be on the team. So it's a toss up for me, but I can see it both ways. But it's just kind of a wait and see sort of what Rashid Hageman shows up in training camp.
Yeah.
They say he had a good he did good during minicamp. He had a good minicamp.
I think it's just like Aaron said. I think it's more of a numbers thing. Numbers and also situation. Like Davison's making the team. Dan Quinn has come out and told us that Jack Crawford was one of the top performers last year. He liked the way Crawford performed. We all know that Grady's making the team. That's not even a question. So I think it's purely situational. And I believe that Rashid is going to be a numbers guy. Like I said, I said this on Twitter, and I got completely blasted. But I'm just looking at I'm just looking at the linemen. How many D linemen do you guys think we're keeping? I mean, we're only going to keep so many.
Well, just like the offensive, look, just like on the offensive side of the ball, man, offensive line, we got a lot of offensive linemen, you know, on the roster. Going back to the defensive line, Quinn said this during his presser. I think day 2, I believe. He said, as far as Davidson, it's as advertised, meaning that Davidson came in and like he didn't really, do bad and he didn't really do great, but like what they saw of what he played in New Orleans the past few seasons, like it showed up during minicamp. So that's a good sign that Davidson is making the team. For as Rasheed Hateman, they said that he had a great minicamp as well. So, like I said, it all depends on it is numbers, but we got yes. But at the same time, the Falcons are not going to go into this season just like they did last season, not having depth, not having guys behind guys, because if somebody goes down, it's a wrap. Like last year, I kid you not, when we didn't bring back Ruben, I was upset. Oh man, I was upset. I was saying like this is like one of the best run stoppers we had in 2017, and we let this man walk. And everybody talking, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Terrell McCain, he a better ball player than him. I'm saying to myself, like, y'all gotta stop kidding yourselves, man. Like, McClain was trash. He was trash. He was trash. He couldn't even stop the run. Like, and we knew we've been having this problem for the past few years. But when Ruben, I'm pretty sure y'all seen the film in 2017 when Ruben came, when we signed him half the second part of the season. He stopped the run pretty well.
Yeah. Look, going back to the Hageman thing, I think Hageman will make the team. He's sort of on my official roster prediction, but I think if you're going to pick one guy that's on the bubble, who's got the chances of me being wrong on that one, I think is probably highest with Hageman. So it's going to be a little bit of a toss. So I think the Falcons are going to probably still be tinkering with this D line going into the season because, I don't know, like it's. Like we're trying to get back to that 2017 line when we had Poe and Claiborne and Tack and Vic and Grady and all these guys and Ruben.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know if I think we're definitely closer there than we were last year at this point.
Definitely.
But I think we could still use some more tinkering, and that's where a guy like an Alan Bailey, that's where if Hageman does show up and step up, that's where he comes into the fold and whatnot. So I think the Falcons going to keep tinkering with the D line to try to get the best 8, 9, and possibly even 10 guys on the roster if they can.
Well, I believe the biggest competition that we have in camp coming up this year is at interior D line. The our three technique, 5 technique, and 4 eye guys, and safety. I think those are our biggest competitions in camp. Who's gonna make the team at D line and who's gonna make the team at safety? And I like it. I like the competition. I like it. I love it a lot. But I think those are too much. I think every other position and running back, obviously, running back. Who's gonna make that 3rd or 4th running back spot? And like I said, who's gonna be the 3rd and 4th safety?
And special teams, man. Don't sleep on the special teams. Don't sleep on it. I'm telling you, like I saw clips and stuff of them at training camp. Marcus Green out there, returning punts, returning kick returns and stuff. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be better. It ain't gonna be like we're not gonna jump from last to first, but it's gonna be a very significant like improvement. So everybody need to watch out for special teams because if whoever's gonna be the kick returner. And if we can get it like at least to the 35-yard line, that's less time, that's less yards. We got to go down the field to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into the chat real quick. Toby D, how you doing? He said more bare fronts to come. One of the reasons for Bob Sutton being here, who spent a lot of time with Rex Ryan from 2009, 2011. Also, Toby D, who was a D-line coach under Bob Sutton in New York. Yours truly, Dan Quinn. He was a D-line coach. All right. Real Pat Man, he said, I think the formation we will see more of is 3-3-5.
I like that, Matt.
Yep.
That allows us.
It all depends on the team. Yeah, it all depends on the teams we play. I think if we play a team like I think Tampa Bay, we'll probably do 3-3-5. But I already know probably we're not gonna do no 3-3-5 against New Orleans. Kane. Not with Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. But I think like teams like who do we play this year? I know we play
AFC West, right?
Rams. We play. I know we play the whole NFC
I
South.
mean NFC West.
Yeah, we play the whole NFC West, AFC South. So yeah, I know we're gonna see 3-3-5 a little bit. Jarvis Williams said Happy Father's Day, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you. Toby D said Rasheed Heyman fits the defensive theme a lot to prove. He said he see him stand. Jarvis Williams, he also said, I think Heyman can give you 10 tackles for loss. That's
The
good.
big stick in the NFL. Yeah.
Hey, when you played in 2016, he had I don't know if it was 10, but he had a good number of tackles for loss.
That's a big number in the NFL.
Yeah, it is. CC Ryder, what's good, man? He said, I like Rasheed making the team. He put that all capital. He said he can do it. He said he with Steven Means being out for the year. That's another thing. We lost Steven Means, so that's another, like a guy like Chris Odom or somebody like that can step
I
up.
think Steven Means is in danger of not making the team anyway. So
I don't think he was gonna make
I
the
think
team
he was in
anyway.
danger of getting cut. So
Jarvis, he said Heyman can be the strong side defensive end. That could be possible. But like I said this before we drafted John Comiskey, because I said John Comiskey was going to be a Falcon before we drafted him. And I said we bring in a guy like Comiskey. Comiskey can be a strong side defensive end and base. So, all right, Jarvis. Hold on. Okay. Art Chapman, how you doing tonight? He said McClain came in with a ski mask and stole money. Yep, that's what he did. All right. Juju, he said, don't even say his name. Talking about McClain. Jarvis, he said, the Cardinals have become the Falcons rejects. They have Alfred McClain. Hey. And there was some news that came out from Cliff Kingsbury yesterday too about him, I guess, spying on his players using burner accounts and stuff like that. So, like I said, I don't know what the Cardinals need. You got to look at it. I seen the information, man.
Okay,
It's hilarious.
I'm not even saying it's out there. I'm telling y'all. But some people said that he did that when he was at Texas Tech, but it doesn't matter. You did it once, you'll probably do it again. So, Chapman, he said Ray Edwards and Tyson Jackson came in the ski mask and stole money too. Yep. And okay, Toby D, he answered the question. Dan Quinn, yeah, Dan Quinn was the D-line coach for the Jets in 2009. I think from 2011, I believe. So yeah. All right, let's get back to the topics. I don't know if anybody watched the Falcons podcast this past week, but Matt Terbeek, he interviewed Matt Ryan, Dirk Carter, and Mike Mularkey. Y'all need to go check that out if y'all haven't listened to it. It's a great interview. But this is a question I want to bring out for you guys. Is Matt Ryan going to have more power in calling his own plays during games?
I'm going to say definitely, because when I remember here before, Dirk was the guy who loved Matt in the hurry up and loved Matt in the 2-minute drill. And I remember before, we would run 2-minute offense with 4 minutes to go. And Dirk would just say, let Matt run down the field when it was before. So I'm pretty sure they have that comfortability. Is that a word? And familiarity. I'm trying to say that word. I'm not pronouncing it right. But I'm pretty sure that we're going to see Dirk sometimes just let Matt just go, or at least Matt's going to be able to suggest, hey, Dirk, we go here, over here. And Dirk going to say, hey, yeah, Matt, we're on the same page. Go ahead and do it, because they already had that comfortability. So regardless what Dan Quinn says, that it didn't matter what Matt says. We already know. Of course, Matt was consulted before they hired Dirk, and of course, they already have that. Oh, yeah, we're good together. Like don't insult our intelligence, Dan. We know better.
Yeah, I think you're right. When you go back to those early years of Matt Ryan with Dirk Cutter and Mike Mularkey, really from like that 2011 to 2014 season, like if you wanted to say what the identity of the Falcons offense was in terms of what was their bread and butter, they were most effective at being, it really was going to the no huddle. And basically
Yeah.
what you would see is in the first quarter, the Falcons would sort of kind of feel their way out. Then in the second quarter, like if they were struggling in the first quarter, they go, okay, there's 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Let's go no huddle for the rest of this first half. And then you would almost always see them drive down the field and score. Then they would switch back to, the coaches calling the plays in the third quarter, and they were terrible, which, used to be the curse that plagues the Falcons even to this day. And then in the fourth quarter, they'd go right back to it. Like, let's go no huddle. We need to get that one scoring drive to win it. And that's what they would do. And, in the early years under Mike Smith, that was very successful. And that includes the years with Dirk Cutter calling the plays. So I expect that to sort of be a repeat. That's the familiarity that Dirk Cutter and Matt Ryan have. And so, the question is going to be, at least for me, like we know that that's going to work for the Falcons offense because it did before. The question is going to be, can Dirk Cutter, when he's controlling the play calling in the first and third quarters, can he produce at the same level? Because that was the problem with the Falcons offense previously, because they were so up and down. In those odd quarters, they would just be kind of average. And in the even quarters, when they were going no huddle, they'd be really good, one of the best offenses in the league. And obviously, for me, I think the big key to success this season is going to be the offense and how many points we're going to have to, put up, 28, 30 points every week, because this team isn't really built to win these low scoring games, because our defense just isn't that good. And so if they can't, and you look back at the Cutter offenses in Tampa Bay, they're scoring like 23, 24 points. Like that's just not going to cut it here in Atlanta. So in order for us to get into that 30 range, I think you're going to have to see this offense being able to do a lot better in the first and third quarters when Cutter's calling plays. But again, to answer the question, yeah, Matt Ryan's going to have a lot of control in this offense. And when Dirk Cutter needs to be bailed out, if that happens this season, he's going to let Matt Ryan call the play, and they're just going to, do their thing. And we've seen the results before. We know it's successful, and I think it's going to continue to be successful.
Let me be devil's advocate for a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I heard you say that we got to score 30 or more points to win the game. I really don't. I'm not trying to say anything about the defense because we don't know what the defense is going to be like. But I can tell you this: it's going to be better than what we had the past couple of years under Marco Emmanuel because Dan Quinn's calling it. But I think if the Falcons can be sound on one offense, can be sound on one thing, we can win a game with 17 points. We can win a game with 24 points. We got to get back to running the ball. You run the ball, you control the what? You control the clock. Look at New England. New England just won the Super Bowl 13 to what? 13 to what? 3 or something like that. I got the score.
Brady won the game.
Brady didn't win no doggone game. They ran the ball. They ran the ball. They had to get. They had the time of possession means a lot. A lot of people need to understand this.
Defense.
Yeah, you got to play defense as well, but time of possession means everything. Everything. That I think time of possession is an underrated category for winning the game. It's very underrated because a lot of people see over that. The Patriots had that for the Super Bowl. They had the ball for 40 minutes of that game. Yeah. And if the Falcons, and this is why we brought in a few people far as situational play calling, because Dan Quinn, he trying to do this and that and do this and that and do the defense. He struggled these past few years. We lost games. We lost games because we lost close games, and guess what? We also won close games. But if we can close the gap and just start winning games by more than a touchdown, now I'm talking about at least 10 points. We got to start controlling the clock. We got to start running the ball. Defense, they got to start giving us more 3 and outs. Now, if you can't do it, give us some turnovers here and there. And I think we can win games, 24-3 or 24-7. What do you guys think?
I guess I hear you. I think you're certain matchups. That's true. I just look at teams like the Saints, teams like the Rams, and I feel like that style of play. I don't know if it's going to cut it. I think those offenses are too good, and I think they're going to. And that's one of the reasons why the Falcons haven't had a lot of success against the Saints in the Dan Quinn era, just because they can't stop that offense. I hope this year changes that with Dan Quinn calling the plays, with the improvements up front. But for me, at least, I think in some of these games, particularly if the Falcons are going to make a deep run in the playoffs, I think I guess you could call it conservative, run the football defensive style. I think it gets you so far. I think we saw the Mike Smith team sort of hit their ceiling as far as that goes. So I think you're right. I think if the Falcons can do that more effectively, there's a lot of games this year that they can win. Teams like Jacksonville, teams like Carolina, teams like Seattle. Those are not teams that are built to drop 30 and 40 points every single week. So you can play that style against those teams. But I think certain teams, particularly if you're going to make a deep run in the postseason, and against teams like New Orleans and teams like the Rams, I don't know if that style is really going to be as effective beating those teams. But I hear what you're saying, though.
Yeah, I guess we can agree to disagree because end of the day, you got to look at this. You got to look at the stats. For as teams that went to the Super Bowl, teams who won the Super Bowl, they had a good defense and they ran the ball well throughout the season. And everybody always look, and I've been saying this since we hired Mike Mularkey back to the Falcons. A lot of people looking at that title he has, tight end coach. Yes, he will be the tight end coach, but I really think he's going to be involved in that run game. Remember when we had Mike Turner? And Mike Turner had a great career under Mike Mularkey, and we ran the ball well from 2008 to 2010. And we also, we had Harvey Dahl as a guard on the team. Yeah, we drafted not too great, but we drafted 2 linemen who are great at run blocking. So
my thing this year comes down to 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. We have to be able to pick up 3rd and 3 on the ground sometimes, which we were hardly ever able to do last year. And we have to be able to stop 3rd and 3 on the ground this year because we don't stop 3rd and 3 well in the air. So we have to at least stop it on the ground. 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. If we can win on both sides of the ball this year, 3rd and 3, I call it 33 because it just seems to me 3rd and 3 on offense. If we can't throw it, we can't get it, which makes us one dimensional because the other team knows that hey, they have to throw. And 3rd and 3 on the ground. If we can improve in both of those areas this year, I think there's 2 to 3 more wins that we get this year.
And we also drafted Olsen. He's a power back. Jarvis Williams, he said the newly acquired running back Olsen can be at 8 to 10 carry game back and easily get 300 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I think they'll bring in Olsen when we need those. That 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, the short yardage, 3rd down situations. Or we at goal line and we need somebody. And oh man, I don't even want to bring up the playoff game in 2017 against Philadelphia and then week 1. That was just horrible, man. We can't even get 3 yards. But hey, we're going to end up seeing what's going to end up happening as far as Olsen. I think Olsen is going to be that power back for us. And like I told people, don't sleep on Mike Mularkey run game because the man he can call he know about running backs, he know about offensive line. So Um, let's get back in the chat real quick one more time. Jarvis said Carter will run, hurry up. We agree with that. Jarvis. He also said Julio will put up 10 touchdowns. Look, I don't care. Like Julio said this before, man. He don't care if he get a touchdown or not. As long as we win the game, hey, we good. He also said really will put up 10 touchdowns, and Sanu will put up 7 touchdowns. He also said Hooper can be a dog horse with 60 receptions, 700 receiving yards, and 7 touchdowns. I really think Hooper is going to have a great year. He might have. He's going to have a Pro Bowl season.
Yeah, Jarvis, I think that Hooper will be right along with those numbers, Jarvis. I like that a lot.
Toby D said yes. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if they do wind up getting that many touchdowns that Jarvis is saying, then we're definitely scoring 30 points a game.
Yeah, we score. Yeah, we definitely score. Yeah, we're going to be scoring like 35, 38 points a game.
Yeah, so like that's 27, and that's not counting Freeman, that's not counting all these other guys. So if we do that, and I'm all for it, then yeah, we're definitely scoring more than 30 a game.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all forgetting Hardy, y'all forgetting Gage,
and Matt 3 rushing TDs.
Taubert, exactly. Y'all forgetting Taubert, we forgetting everybody. Stalker, all those guys. All right, Toby D said yes, Matt Ryan will have more power. He said the audible package should be better suited for Matt. He also said Dirk has hinted that he's here to help Matt. This is more of a Mike McCoy and Peyton Manning relationship.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jarvis, he also said, okay, I read that one already. Johnny, thank you for joining us tonight. He said if we had Jacob Tammy still, we'll have 2 to 3 rings already. I love Jake. I miss Jacob Tammy. I love Jacob Tammy.
Physical edge blocker.
Exactly. All right. And then Jarvis said the defense would be optimistic. Of course it would if Dan Quinn called. He said top 10 in turnovers and points allowed. I don't know about that. If we do that, we win the Super Bowl this year. If we top 10 in turnovers and points allowed, you might as well. We're gonna be in Miami. You might as well be ready for a parade in Peachtree in February next year.
Yep, that's it. I mean, you get stops and you turn the ball over. You give the offense more opportunities to score points. I mean, that's a recipe for success. That's how the Saints won their Super Bowl a decade ago. Basically, leading the league in turnovers, and Drew Brees having putting up ridiculous numbers that year and whatnot. And if that prediction comes true, you got the same recipe for success.
And Matt is at that age where quarterbacks win Super Bowls. That 32 to 35 years age, that's when quarterbacks win Super Bowls. Matt is right in that age group prime right now.
Yep. Yeah. Also, Toby D said the analytics suggest that Shannon and Dirk's tendencies match. Another reason, I think he said Shanahan. Another reason for Dirk taking over, in my opinion, expect Dirk will give Matt more freedom. Yeah, because under Shanahan, really Matt didn't have any freedom under Shanahan. All right, PSN, what's good, man? Thank you for joining us. He said time of possession. Yeah, time of possession means a lot. It means a lot. All right, Brian Smith. He said sound is low. Mm-hmm. If something wrong with our audio, please let us know, you guys, so we can get it fixed. All right. Toby D said, I agree, Jarvis. Dan will call the defense from the get-go. He also said, Jarvis also said, we ranked 27th in rushing. That's pretty much the bottom of the league right there.
Right. And if you look at playoff teams and teams that win the Super Bowl, and I'm pretty sure this is why you're bringing up Jarvis, because you have to be in the top 12. Teams that go to the playoffs and win the Super Bowl are in the top 12 in rushing. If you look back at plenty of these teams, even I want to – you guys go back, everybody this year. You look at Patrick Mahomes, go back and look at Kansas City's rushing stats this year. And go back and see how many times Kansas City picked up third down or picked up a first down on third down on the ground this year. I bet your mind will be blown. Everybody go research that.
Right. Once they lost Kareem Hunt, it was a wrap. I ain't gonna say it was a wrap for them, but you only gonna go so far if you don't have a run game.
Yes,
You only gonna
but
go so far to have a look. Run the ball, stop the run.
but I bring it up because people think about Patrick Mahomes, and first thing you think about is Patrick Mahomes' arm and him throwing the ball. And I bring this up, even teams like I say, Brady gets all the credit, but you go back and look at how many times these teams were able to pick up a first down on third down on the ground, and look at these teams' rushing stats. And these teams run the ball much better than you think. That opens up the pass. So it gives these quarterbacks credit. I'm not taking anything away from Mahomes and Brady. Obviously, they were great and excellent. Obviously, Brady's we don't have to speak on that. But these teams run the ball much better than you guys think. So we give these quarterbacks all the credit. Go back and look at the rushing stats as well.
I hear you guys on this.
Yeah.
I guess for me, it's I've heard this song and dance before with the Mike Smith regime. So like I've seen this blow up in the team's face, and I look at this team, and it's like, can this team be a physical football team? They have the capability. We just really haven't seen it yet. And so for me, it's like this coaching staff, whether you're talking about Dan Quinn, whether you're talking about the offensive line coach, Chris Morgan, he hasn't really done a whole lot of developing young offensive linemen. And I think Chris Lindstrom, I think Caleb McGarry are going to be good players for us. But are they going to be the type of guys that can come in right away, hit the ground running, and be, impact difference makers up front in the ground game, in the trenches? Can they be that? Yeah. But I think for me right now, it's just like I'm sort of in a wait and see mode and see if this team can really be that sort of physical run team. And if they can't, we already know the passing game is there. And so if you have that type of balance on offense, then the sky's the limit for how good this team can be. But for me, it's one of those things where I just haven't seen it yet out of this coaching staff. We've been talking about the defense for years and years and talking about, the top 10 talent, all this sort of thing. Haven't seen it yet. And it's like, are they going to be, they want to be this more physical football team. And they were one of the worst run teams in the league last year. And it's like, I'm waiting to see it. I really want to see it. I just remain a little bit skeptical of it. And I know we can throw the football. And so if you have to rely on us throwing the football again, I don't have a problem with that. If the running game comes back, great. But like we saw this offense, and I know bringing up Sark is a sticky situation for a lot of people. But the passing game was on point last year. It really was. It was on point. Like, say what you will about Sark in certain situations and whatnot. Obviously, it wasn't perfect, but for the most part, the passing game was on point. And so if we have to go back to that, I think it can work. If the defense takes strides, you take that offense, you take the 2017 defense, we're back in the playoffs. We're a team that can be reckoned with and making a deep run. So that's what I'm hoping for this year. If the run game comes out of it, great. That's the cherry on top for me. But I think we just got to get that 2018 offense with the 2017 defense. And I think that's a realistic approach right now. Anything else beyond that, I'm in wait and see mode.
All right. Thinking emoji. All right. This is why I'm going back to what I said about Mike Mularkey, Chris Morgan. A lot of people, some people on the fence with Chris Morgan saying he's not a good coach. Well, some people saying, yeah, Chris Morgan's a good coach. But I really think this is why, that's what I'm saying about Mike Mularkey. Him bringing in, I'm pretty sure he's going to be helping Chris Morgan. For his offensive line, for his the run game. A lot of people, yes, Mike Mularkey was here in 2008. That's when Matt Ryan came in the league. A lot of people got to understand, too, who did we draft in 2008 in the first round? Because we had 2 first-round picks.
Sam Baker.
A lot of people don't like this guy. Sam Baker. I think Sam Baker did good his first few years. It's just the injuries kept piling up on him, and, he kept getting hurt, so he was really damaged goods for us. But Mike Mularkey, he has a history of developing offensive linemen, even when he was in Tennessee with Lunan. All right, he's brought in for a purpose. All these we brought these coaches back for a purpose to help the current coaching staff. So, but Toby D, he said something. Don't get your expectations up, coach. too much for calling runs on third and short. Dirk likes to throw the ball on those short downs too, like Shanahan, looking for the explosive plays on those downs. You know, I agree, Toby D. I kind of feel where you coming from because yes, going back looking at film when he was here in the lineup when he was in Tampa Bay, he did call some passing plays on third and short. But you got to realize, you know, he got to talk to other people. He got to talk to Greg Knapp. He got to talk to Mike Malarkey. I don't think it's going to just be all yes men that everybody's on board. They're going to bounce ideas off each other. That's what.
And when I say run the ball, I don't mean we have to run it for 200 yards per game. When I say run the ball, we at times have to be able to pick up 3rd and 3 on the ground. At times, you have to be able to do it. If you're one dimensional and every time on third and short, you have to throw the ball, that limits you and makes you one dimensional. So, like I say, when I say run the ball, I don't mean we have to average 200, 250 yards per game. We don't have to run it 40 to 50 times a game. When I say run the ball, we have to be confident in our ability to go to the ground on 3rd and 3 or less and be able to pick it up. And last year, you see, we clearly weren't.
Okay. All right. All right. Next topic is there was some news about Isaiah Oliver, Russell Gage, and Deja Chanat. As far as minicamp, they looked good. Do you guys see any one of those guys, or all three of those guys, having a breakout season this year? We drafted them last year, by the way, in case you guys don't know who they are. But they are going into their second year of the league. What do you guys think about those three players?
I guess I'll go first. If I'm being honest, we really don't see Isaiah Oliver being worse than Rocky. As far as Deidre and Sinat and Russell Gage, I heard Dan Quinn talk about Russell Gage this year. During camp, I'm not expecting more than some plays on special teams. And Deidre and Sinat, uh, I'll go with Oliver. That's what I'm saying. The other two, I just see Oliver. I don't see him being worse than the other two. The other two, I don't see them getting a lot of opportunities. Like, come on, Russell Gage is not about to get any opportunities.
I think Russell Gage. I want to say he's gonna. I hope he doesn't have the Justin Hardy syndrome. What I mean by that is you get lost in the shuffle because we know we drafted Hardy in 2015, and this is before Sanu got here, by the way. Okay,
Russell Gage isn't going to catch 20 passes this year. I don't think.
but it all depends on the reps. A lot of people saying that Justin Hardy is horrible. Well, here's the thing: when Sanu came here in 2016, what happened with Hardy? Hardy had to take a back seat. And then not only to Sanu, but also to Gabriel. Gabriel had a breakout season that year. So Hardy was pretty much delegated back to the fourth receiver spot. So I'm just, you got Julio, you have Sanu, you have Ridley. Not only to mention, you have Hooper, you got Devontae Freeman, them, they can catch the ball. So he's not going to get that many reps for being on the field that much.
Exactly. I don't see him getting that.
But I know But I tell you this though, he's gonna improve. He's gonna improve this year because outside of this season coming up, I don't really think we're gonna end up bringing back Sanu after this season. We're not gonna have. I don't think we're gonna have the money to pay him. So next year, 2020, he's gonna have to be that third receiver. All right, as far as Isaiah Oliver go, I think Isaiah Oliver he's gonna be good for us this year. Now I'm gonna give Oliver a couple more seasons, man. This man gonna be a Pro Bowler. That's my take. Sanat, I really think Sanat is gonna take a huge leap this year. A huge leap.
I don't know if I'm in friendly space, but I kind of am a Robert Alford apologist. I don't know if you guys are on board with that, but like I think of these three, Oliver's the obvious pick because he's going to play. You know, he's going to play every snap pretty much
Of course.
if everything goes according to plan. And we saw him last year. Like I thought Oliver had a little bit of an up and down rookie season. Obviously, we thought he would be a little bit more impactful right away coming in, taking Brian Poole's job. We didn't really see that happen, but we saw the ups, we saw the downs a little bit. You know, his length, his size, he was able to get his hand on a lot of footballs. And if you sort of like if you extrapolate how many pass breakups he had and based off of how many snaps he played, and then expand that to playing basically 1,000 snaps this entire season, like he's going to have, I think, you know, someone could check my math in the chat or whatever, but like that, we're talking about like 20, 25 pass breakups or something like that over the course of the season, which is better than I think even the career highs of Alford and Trufant in their best season. So if he has that type of year, he's an obvious choice for a breakout sort of season. So he's the obvious pick. I think with Gage, you know, he's basically Julio's backup now that Marvin Hall's gone. And we know Julio Jones gets some breather. You know, he'll catch a pass, he'll go off on the sideline for it. And whoever's his backup winds up can, you know, get 10 snaps a game or whatever. But like you're not going to be able to do a whole lot in this offense off of 10 snaps a game, particularly when you're sharing the field with Mohamed Sanu and Calvin Ridley and Austin Hooper and Justin Hardy, all these guys that have been here for many years that have built a rapport with Matt Ryan over 3, 4, 5 years. Like, you know, so if Gage will have a better season than he did last year, but like, you know, you're talking about 10, 15 catches over the course of the entire season. So is that really a breakout season? I mean, if your expectations were that he wasn't going to catch any passes, yeah, I guess it is. But like, if you're talking about like, you know, catching 30, 40 passes, like that's not a breakout year at all. And with Dejan Sanat, I think I really like what Dejan Sanat did as a rookie. The problem is we talked about this earlier with the D line group. There's so many guys there. How many snaps is he going to get? How many, you know, if he's sharing duties with Tyler Davison, if Hageman's in the mix, Grady Jarrett, you got Claiborne, you got Crawford, you got Kaminsky, you got all these guys. So, you know, I think he'll be better, but it's not like you're going to see him get like 5 sacks or, you know, 10 tackles for loss or anything like that. So, in terms of, you know, it depends on what you mean by breakout season. Will he be better? Absolutely. I truly think that. But in terms of like him having this, you know, big year where we're looking at the end of the season being like, oh man, the key to success for the Falcons defense or the key to success for the whatever is Dejan Sanat. No, I don't think we're having that conversation. If we're talking about this defense taking a leap, it's going to be, we're going to have conversations about Oliver. You talked about special teams. If we're talking about the special teams unit getting back into the fold, because we're talking about, you know, having a top 5, top 10 offense, having a top 15 or whatever defense. If we can get our special teams back into the, you know, being a top 10 unit, it's going to be maybe because of a guy like Russell Gage or whatever, you know, being that force covering kicks and whatnot, and the return game and all these other things, and the kicking game and the punting game or whatever. So I think if we're talking about Russell Gage having a breakout season, it's going to come on special teams, not on offense.
Yeah. All right. And it was, I saw this on the one of Dan Quinn's pressures. Falcons' new slogan, locked. I don't know if it's a new slogan or not. Locked in. What do you guys think about that?
Look, I'll step in right now. I'm a big fan of this because you know I'm on the Locked On Falcons podcast. So, like, you know, if this is their new slogan, I'm all about this one because this is right up my alley. This is free press for me in my podcast. So I'm all in. This is their new slogan, locked. I'm all about that. I'm gonna add hashtag locked to all my Falcons tweet this year.
Hey,
I gotta be. I know I'm finna get hated for this, but I hate all team slogans in every sport. I hate it. I'm that guy. You know, I did the whole rise up thing, but I hate locked. I hate rise up. I hate. I'm a big UGA fan, but I hate get up. I hate all that stuff. So, and I do support it because I support the team, but team slogan don't mean a damn thing to me. I just gotta be honest. I hate all team slogans. I'm that guy. I'm sorry.
that's fine. All right, and then we got a question from a fan. Is it Lasado128? His name on there is the official new prime time. The official new prime time. He said, "How can we? How can we help Oscar Hooper run better routes?"
Austin runs bad routes. I'm asking because I've never watched film. Or I've never studied Austin's routes to know enough about that. That's what I'm asking. I'm
Only
not trying to
problem
be.
I have with Hooper is run blocking. That's about it. Like, yeah, he struggled with his hands here and there, but
be because typically a tight end, it's a thin line. You know, you always want to run great routes, but typically a tight end, it's about finding the soft spot and about positioning. It's about going and knowing how to position your body against the outside linebacker. It's about knowing how to read his hips and knowing how to get inside and outside of him. So it's not necessarily about
it's all about
route running. It's about knowing where to bend and body reading that strong safety's body or reading that outside linebacker's body and knowing where to get inside or outside. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to study that. Does Austin run bad routes? I can't really speak on that.
I mean, for me, I look at Hooper like, we talk about route running and the ability to separate and these things. Like tight ends don't get separation like that, like you're just not going to get separate. Like unless you're, Travis Kelsey or Jordan Reed, one of the or Evan
Super
Ingram, who's
fast
basically,
guys. Exactly.
yeah, these wide receiver, these big wide receivers, basically. Like you're not really going to get separation. And we saw this with Tony Gonzalez. Like Tony Gonzalez was running like molasses, but he knew sort of
Slow.
what you're talking about,
Yeah.
that body lean. And then the real important thing is the trust and the rapport that the quarterback has with the tight end, where he knows, like Matt Ryan knows, if I put the
Which
ball
way you
here,
going?
this is he's going to catch it. Like this is the perfect on this route, on the timing and whatnot. So that's really what the thing is with Matt Ryan and Hooper, and that develops over time. So I think really focusing on the route running. I mean, like obviously, if he can get better as a route runner, great. But I don't think that's really the important thing. We saw this. I don't know if you guys saw the podcast he did with the Bleacher Report guy. What was his name? Adam Lefko, where they had him up there, and he was talking about sort of him working with Matt Ryan one-on-one last offseason, and that was one of the reasons why he had big improvement last season with Hooper. So I think if he continues to work on that and they just sort of become to have this psychic connection, then I don't think the route running really matters all that much because Matt Ryan's going to know, okay, on this route, Austin Hooper wants the ball right here, and based off of his position and based off of where the defender is, if I put it on right here at this spot, he's going to catch it and do work and whatnot. So yeah, I think the route running stuff is like, yeah, if he can be better, great. But like, I mean, you talked about Malarkey coming in. Like, is that really what Malarkey does? Because he's got that background as a blocking guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Wade Harman was the guy that was coaching guys like Todd Heap in Baltimore, these great receiving tight ends. And you listen to Hooper talk about sort of Wade Harman helping him out and whatnot. So I don't even know if the Falcons really care that much about where Hooper's route running and his ability as a receiver is. I think they're trying to get him better and being more of a difference maker in the run game and whatnot.
Exactly. Yep. Sure is. All right. Well, I guess that's all the questions for tonight. Go ahead and plug your information on Aaron.
Yeah. Again, like I said, Locked On Falcons is the podcast. You can find it on any podcast platform. You can, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, whatever, Spotify. You could also check out Falcon Central Radio right here on YouTube, the Pro Football Central YouTube page. Just, subscribe, hit that bell icon. And, you can find me on Twitter at FalcFans, FalcFans. And, once in a blue moon, I'll put some written content up on falcfans.com as well. So you can check me out in all those places.
And I gotta tell everybody, I gotta shout out the boy Dream Chaser real quick on Twitter real quick. The boy Dream Chaser, Steve gave me the fresh cut today. If y'all in the Stone Mountain area, stop by and check out Steve on Rockbridge, Dream Chaser. And pray for your boy, man. I'm having my wisdom teeth out tomorrow. I'm getting put to sleep. I'm completely nervous about it. Never been put to sleep before. I'm very nervous about it. So pray for your boy. I'll probably be decommissioned on Twitter because I understand that I'll be sleep all day tomorrow. So pray for your boy.
Yeah, you're gonna be out for a couple of days. Also, Aaron, tell Matt Carey, whatever his last name is, tell him, man, come on the show. Tell him I need him to come on the show eventually.
All right, I'll let him know.
Tell him to follow the FILA Sports Podcast page. and we're gonna work something out because I've been wanting to talk to him for a long time.
That sounds ominous.
I want to talk to him for a long time. But
Don is our angry host, Aaron. I'm the nice host. Don is the angry host.
anyway, everybody who I think we have 14 people in the chat tonight. Thank y'all for joining us live. We appreciate it. Also, share this video with other Falcons fans so they can tune in and chime in the chat, and they can also hit the comment section up. And if you're watching this video at a later time, please leave a comment. We'll get back with you at our earliest convenience. Also, hit that like button. All right, hit the like button, blow the like button up. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. All right, as always,
I'm Holla.
Holla at your hometown sports podcast.
Appreciate you, Aaron.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you joining us. We're gonna be back in a few days talking about the NBA draft. So join us probably Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday this week. All right. Y'all have a great evening. See y'all another time.